Gentlemen, meet Mr. Turing.
We'd work together then. I'm afraid these men would only slow me down.
Popular at school, eh?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Retrospectives. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. With me today is my co-host, Matt Garingo.
That's me.
We are talking about failed blockbusters in today's episode, and today's failed blockbuster is Colin Trevorrow's The Book of Henry, a 2017 American drama thriller written by Greg Hurwitz, starring Naomi Watts, Jaden Martell, Jacob Tremblay.
It's really
Sarah Silverman.
People in the future are going to be slapping themselves silly why Book of Henry didn't gross $300 million at the box office.
No. Just kidding. We're not talking about Book of Henry today. We will be talking about Book of Henry in the future. But first, we have to explain our new show, where we're talking about failed awards contenders.
Hey!
Matt, this was your idea.
Yes, it was.
Why?
I don't fucking know. I think I wanted an excuse to talk about other types of movies.
Yeah, and because it's technically award season when we're recording these and uploading these. That's right. We're just going for it.
And we're here to talk about The Imitation Game.
Yeah,
2014.
Which is maybe the single most boring film we've ever talked about.
Yeah, here's something. So we started talking about this. I think like as soon as we finished recording Scream 4, we started like talking about what the plan was going to be. And we were like throwing movies out there to do. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you threw out Imitation Game.
Yeah.
And then I immediately went like, yeah, let's do Imitation Game. And then I rewatched Imitation Game. And I have no idea why I thought this would be a good idea.
No, well, here's the thing. The Imitation Game is a lot of nothing. Like, this isn't a hot take. Like, no one even remembers this movie. It's about a very important man in human history. Like, someone people would call a genuine, like, war hero who was treated like garbage by the country they basically saved. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of like historical bullshit we could like kind of parse out through here, but the movie itself, it is like completely unmemorable, yada yada. And I think that's why it's the perfect one to talk about first, because we can also talk about why we're doing this, what other failed awards contenders we could bring up but like not really touch on, because like we had other ideas for movies we want to talk about. I kind of wanted to talk about Spike Lee's The Five Bloods, and then we were like, hang on, neither of us could really talk about what it's like being black in America, so we should probably avoid movie subjects like that, because there's way smarter people with more knowledgeable matters on that subject who could kind of like take those conversations somewhere more interesting than us, right? Imitation Game, I feel comfortable saying that no one really has anything to say about this movie ever.
Yeah, it's like I don't even have like strong negative feelings about it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I have like notes on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not a movie that I think is worth like vitriol.
Yeah, I went like digging for stuff, because there's definitely stuff we could talk about with like historical accuracies and like how they portray Alan Turing and all that stuff. But like, it's not even worth it. Like, it's. Did you, have you ever watched a movie where you watched it and felt like you didn't watch anything?
Yeah.
Like.
That's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, and it's just like the amount of times they just cut back to like, it's the same fucking shot every time they're in the code breaking room. Mm-hmm. And like, the temperature is no different. There's no different vibe, but like, there's just different information being passed in. And like, am I supposed to feel the same? Like, how am I supposed to feel about the fact that, like, oh, this guy's brother might die if we don't report this code, versus the scene where Alan Turing, like, won't go get a sandwich with the boys?
Yeah.
Like, those scenes have the same energy. And every scene's like that in the movie. Every meeting with Charles Dance is exactly the same.
Well, in the first scene with Charles Dance, he might like him. And the other scenes, he doesn't.
Yeah, you know.
That's the difference.
Yeah, you could tell he might have liked him in that first scene. Charles Dance really exudes friendliness in this.
Well, you know what is interesting about this movie is that the casting, like the cast is killer, and all of these people are coming off of like real hot streaks, except for oh fuck, I totally didn't even like write her name down just because I assumed I would remember it.
Keira Knightley?
Keira Knightley, yes, thank you.
I was gonna be like, do you mean someone else? And I'm like, there's only one fucking female character in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
Like,
and only because like she just hasn't really been able to find like roles.
Because Hollywood fucking sucks.
Yeah. Like she's good. She's really good constantly in everything she's in, and Hollywood just sucks.
It says
but
here,
everyone else, like,
just so we can say it, she deliberately took a break from acting in 2006 for mental health reasons. So, yeah, so she's been going through it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about like
God
Hayden
damn, she's
Panettiere in the
fucking
last episode
36. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I assumed
and
she'd
it's
be
like
a lot older than that. Like,
I did too.
Not even
she started really young.
Not even saying that. Yeah, I always forget how fucking young she was when she started. I mean, Jesus Christ, that actually kind of threw me for a loop for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember she was Domino?
Yeah, so, like, I hope
Fuck
she's okay. I hope she's doing okay.
She was Domino.
Yeah. Yes.
She was Domino.
She was Domino Harvey in Tony Scott's masterpiece.
God damn, that means she was fucking 20 years old when she made Domino.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Insane to me.
Jesus Christ.
That's it's not even like I'm not like shocked. I'm like, wow, she looks old. Like, she definitely looks young. Like, I'm like, wow, she's been good like since she was that young.
Mm-hmm.
And she got fucking shuffled off to be in this shit.
Yeah, and I would say she's still like really good in this, especially because this is like, I mean, it's a generic biopic. You know exactly what you're gonna get when you watch this movie, like 100%. There are scenes where people are just like, they're talking about what they're supposed to be feeling to the audience instead of actually showing you. The female lead in a biopic always has to be like there for the woeful, hurt, like male lead performance.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to be there to support them because their struggles are not nearly as important as the great men in the central roles, right? But I think it's interesting that this one's got like Benedict Cumberbatch right off of like Sherlock.
Yeah, this is like peak
and the
Sherlock.
Hobbit stuff.
Like,
yeah, this is peak Benedict Cumberbatch before Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm. So it's peak Benedict
Charles
Cumberbatch.
Charles Dance also coming off of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He's killed off in this season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, all right.
When this aired, so Mark Strong, who's just like always great and like always in supporting roles for some reason.
Yeah.
Also, this is like half the cast of fucking Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Yes, a better fucking movie, and one we probably
That's
should
an
have
incredible
done
movie.
instead.
Oh my god.
I am probably just going to use this as an excuse to talk about Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but
yeah, I mean, go ahead. It's a great.
There's
movie.
a lot of parallels, but before we get into that, how do we feel about Sherlock in the year 2022?
I sure enjoyed it when it aired, and I didn't watch past season 3.
I think I probably, yeah, I don't think I watched. I think I started doing the same thing I started doing with Doctor Who, where I just waited until the season was over, and then if people would be like, I'm like, what are the good episodes? And then I watch it, and there's usually like 3 episodes a season, and like there's usually at least 1 per season that was good.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like Sherlock did like a weird arc where like everyone loved it, and then everyone hated it. And I wonder if now we can get to a point where we can kind of like go like look at it, look back on it, and figure out what was good about it and what was bad about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, at its best, it was, like, really entertaining to watch, and the cast is, like, doing, like, ridiculously entertaining work.
Yeah.
I would say Benedict Cumberbatch's performance in Sherlock is significantly better than it is here, and I'm a Cumberbatch fan. I think we all hated him for a while, too. Or not, like, not all of us, but, like, a lot of people kind of turned on him because of the Sherlock stuff. And
well, also because
the fan casting for Doctor Strange, he was like #1 fan casting choice, and then he got cast, and it's like, yeah, he's not like a bad Doctor Strange. It's just like that's a very obvious choice.
Very obvious
you know?
choice. If Oscar Isaacs didn't exist.
if Oscar Isaac didn't exist, who is now Moon Knight.
Yeah.
We will see how that turns out.
You know, it's weird. It's like Oscar Isaac's like X number of years ago, like 2014, would have been the better choice for Doctor Strange. But Oscar Isaac's now is kind of the better choice for Moon Knight. It's weird.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out.
Yeah, hey.
But Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, is like a good actor. And unfortunately, I think around this time, he was kind of like typecast as like neurotic genius.
Yeah.
Of probably on the spectrum performances that are maybe not great keys to a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, they're not great trademarks to have as an actor that maybe is profiting off these roles.
When does The Fifth Estate come out?
A year before this.
Okay. Because that's another kind of similar. The for people who don't know, The Fifth Estate is the CIA-funded movie about WikiLeaks.
Oh, is that real?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. I mean, you know, CIA...
I knew it was about WikiLeaks. I didn't know it was CIA-funded.
CIA-funded in the way that, like, all our big blockbusters are kind of CIA-funded. But there's a lot of really weird pointed stuff in The Fifth Estate. And I'm not saying this is like a fucking... making a big point about fucking Julian Assange. But, like, that's a movie that includes, like, weird facts that, like, aren't really provable. Like, you know, Julian Assange dyes his hair white. Which is, like, such a non-thing, and it's like, yeah, that's propaganda. Like, you would only include that in the movie if it was propaganda. Yeah, so that was a weird movie. Bill Condon directed that? Mm-hmm. Shit. So there's a WikiLeaks movie that looks like a Twilight movie.
You know what? Should I talk about the director of this then, too?
Why not?
Morton Tyldum, the director of the Imitation Game.
I'm sure that's how you say that.
Sure. He also directed Passengers, the 2016
Joss Whedon's favorite movie.
Pratt. What was that?
Joss Whedon's favorite movie.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Probably.
No. Do you remember, like, in the middle of the discourse, because, like, the plot had kind of leaked about Passengers, right? Like, people knew what it was about. And everyone was like, it was like a big discourse. It's like 2016, so this is like peak movie discourse time. Because like we don't have any real problems yet. And everyone was like, this movie's fucking insane. And then there was a lot of debate of like, is there a good version of this story, you know? Which I think the argument I would have with Passengers is that there's like a good version of that script, and then someone like insanely decide to change it into like a kind of romantic film.
Yeah, it's like, like it's clearly supposed to be a psychological drama.
Yeah, and like someone bafflingly switched it, and like in the middle of the discourse, like Joss Whedon tweeted like, "Hey, I just saw Passengers, probably my favorite movie of the year." And that was one of those like Joss Whedon moments where it's like, there might be something up with this guy.
Yeah, I missed that. But wow.
Says a lot about a fella.
Whoa. All right, Morton Tyldum.
Morton Downey Jr.
Passengers is a bad film. The Imitation Game is like bad, but not like offensively bad like Passengers. Have you ever heard of a movie called Headhunters?
I have seen Headhunters.
I think it's really good.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
At least from what I remember.
What happened to that guy?
Again,
it's not like a fucking runaway hit. Like, it's not like a slam dunk, but like, it's a tight little crime thriller, you know?
Yeah.
And The Imitation Game, I gotta give it credit, because I assumed this is gonna be like one of those prestige pictures that cost like $50 to $100 million, and you're just like, where the fuck did that money go? No. It was made for $14 million.
Yeah.
And shot on film, that's not a positive or negative, but just the fact that they did all this
on
such
waste.
a small budget.
What a waste.
I'm like, you say what a waste?
For film stock.
Oh, well, yeah, but like, I'm just like, thumbs up for like not making it look like complete dog shit. Like it's the lowest possible bar.
Yeah, it doesn't look like dog shit, but
absolute lowest bar.
It looks as boring as fucking humanly possible.
No, it looks like a BBC drama, but like I just assume like with everything now, it's like
They would
the budget
never
is crazy overblown.
They would never give a movie with a gay leading protagonist a $50 million budget.
You're fucking.
That's what
right,
happened.
yeah.
This movie was this fucking shocking hit. Like it's $14 million, made over $200 million, and was nominated for Oscars.
Yeah,
Winning.
Honor the Man, Honor the Film. Do you remember that?
Oh God. Oh shit.
That was the big awards push for it. There were posters like around Hollywood where it was like Honor the Man, Honor the Film, and it's like that was gross.
Yeah.
That was fucking gross.
But it says,
and I'll say, like, I personally, like, I'm not a gay man. I'm a cis Mexican man, but like, I didn't find the film like openly repulsive. Like, again, it's just like a generically bad movie.
Yeah.
But once that shit started rolling out, that's when like everyone turned.
Well,
on
it says everything you know about Hollywood, which is it's like they didn't give this movie a budget. You know, it got $14 million, make the fucking movie, and then when it was a surprise hit, then suddenly it was like, you know, not supporting this movie is actually a crime. And it's like, motherfucker, you gave this movie $14 million. Like, clearly no one believed in this. You were just shocked when it ended up being good in terms of, like, audience appeal. And the reason why it appealed to audiences is because this is a perfect movie about a gay person for people who don't know gay people in their personal life.
Yep. That's exactly
Because all gay people for that target audience, they all act like Mr. Spock.
Sorry.
That's what it is.
And Benedict Cumberbatch just fought Spock the year before.
Hey, remember that fucking movie?
Yeah.
Do people defend that movie?
Yeah.
Are there people out there who need to be sent to prison?
No. There's good stuff in that movie. It's just like completely falls apart.
Yeah, no, there aren't. There's not good stuff in that movie.
No.
I don't give a fuck. Like that's one of those where like you could have the greatest action scene in cinema history, and if you kneecap your film that much, it doesn't fucking matter. Let's see who gave it the highest rating of the people I follow. Oh, it looks like it was Diego Crespo who gave it 3.5
That's
stars.
not true. That's not true.
It is.
Wait, what?
You gave it 3.5 stars.
There's no way I gave it the highest rating.
Of the people I follow, you gave it the highest rating.
That's actually unfortunate. Yeah.
Because everyone else is
That's
like,
on me.
Everyone else is too fucking nice too. I was too fucking nice. I gave it 2 stars. That's way too fucking nice for that movie. But it's like 2 stars, 2.5, 2.5, 2 stars, 2 stars, 2.5, 2 stars, 2 stars, 2.5, 2 stars. Like that seems to be everyone.
No, it's like 3.5
Can
stars. Yeah.
Can I read the opening line to your review?
Sure. This is from like 2016, right?
I don't know. Let me check what year it was. It better fucking be. Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
So this is Diego with still some hope for the future. I still can't believe how little this holds up on with every viewing. You spelled
The emphasis of Kant was for Khan.
yeah. Did you get it? Generally good, great material in the first half. Oh, what was that good or generally good or great material in the first half? Would you mind explaining?
I think the action direction's still really good.
Yeah, would you mind explaining the other material besides that?
No, it's really just the direction.
Yeah. Oh, we all know how J.J. Abrams is a fucking great director. That's pretty much something we can all agree on right now. Never been a more controversial time to make that statement. You know, we were talking about how, like, it's shocking that J.J. Abrams made the same mistake twice, where he did Into Darkness and Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And then we forget, he actually did it 3 times, because he produced The Cloverfield Paradox, which is a third film that attempts to tie up 2 completely disconnected movies.
That's fucking right.
There's a guy. Now, there's a guy.
All right, well, here's some other stuff I have down about the Imitation Game. It's you already know what it is. It's just the most generic movie. If you've seen a generic biopic, you know exactly like what is in store for you here. There's quick montages of like the interesting work the characters are supposed to be doing, and then the characters will tell the audience what's occurred between those scenes, and then that's it. And it's like that's informing you of like, okay, we're telling you like what you need to see because we're not showing you what you need to see.
How about the scene in it where the football team is like, if he quits, then we quit?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's suddenly a fucking sports movie. Like, that's what cracking the Enigma code was like.
Mm-hmm. And I was giving it props for like, you know what, for $14 million, it actually looks like pretty good. It's shot generically. Make no mistake, but like. You can see, like, the costuming and, like, the sets and stuff like that. I'm like, no, this is, like, well put together. It just looks so fucking boring. The quick snippets of CGI are atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one thing that's like, oh, yeah, this was really cheap.
Yeah, and it's what's weird about that, too, is, like, again, you can give them some like, you can let it slide a little bit because it is a $14 million budget. You didn't need any of those scenes that actually had CGI in them. Yeah. Like, all those scenes could have been cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they add nothing.
But some idiot was like,
spent that time coming up with like more inventive ways of showcasing the actual work because like the script is like really not good. Like it's just like generic Wikipedia shit.
Yeah.
Right. Could have spruced up the visual direction with that extra money and time.
Maybe could have like found an interesting way to construct your film if it's about code breaking. Like kind of make the movie feel like it's about code breaking a little bit. Yeah. Instead of a bunch of people just sitting around a fucking office all day.
Should also mention that a lot of the historical there's a whole section on Wikipedia that's about historical inaccuracies, and it's longer than the description of the film, which is always a good sign.
It's probably not even worth going into, but like, because I think even a fucking dolt could watch this and be like, this isn't how it happened in real life, without any knowledge about World War II. Like, you could just tell watching it that it did not play out this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's some stuff in the historical inaccuracies where it's like, this didn't happen on this date, which I always hate that kind of historical inaccuracy stuff. But there is a lot of in it where it's like, Alan Turing actually had like friends. Like,
yeah, I mean that's the part that got like a lot of backlash, and I would say rightfully so, because like this is a dude whose country like betrayed him after like he basically saved them.
Mm-hmm.
Like what I don't know like all the ins and outs and details. Like maybe Turing was not a great person, but by certain accounts he was, because he had friends and had a social life, and his social awkwardness and things was did not.
But really how are we going to know
on him as an adult?
How are we going to know he's a computer genius if he doesn't just sit around all day going, I don't want to hang out with you guys. I want to work on my machine. That's how genius works, right?
It's this disgusting, like, I mean, this is how Joss Whedon got away with it for so long, you know? Mm-hmm. It is, like, this idea that, like, oh, the tortured artist has to be, like, this isolated genius, and you can't understand their brilliance.
Yeah.
That's the only way, like, the greatest human minds of our time can operate, and that's just so not true.
You know what?
Martin Scorsese is technically one of the greatest human minds of our time, and everyone loves him.
Yeah, except for his ex-wives.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you know.
Oh, God, I'm
not perfect.
No, here's what I would want to... Here's something that I just find baffling about, like, the tortured, isolated genius narrative. Like, wouldn't people, like... Wouldn't it be more interesting to be, like, have a guy who's, like, trying to connect with people, but, like, struggling to do it, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, this movie is, like... Not only is he, like, alone in life, but he's choosing to be alone, so it's not really... And he's doing it for a good cause, so it's actually not that big of a problem. Like, that's not interesting, you know? It's like... There's a fucking, like, TV movie. It's called, Einstein and the other guy. Who's the other guy?
Sorry. I just imagine this poster, Einstein and the other guy.
Einstein and Eddington. Which is about the general theory of relativity and shit like that, you know? Yeah. Like, it's like a TV movie. It's not, like, amazing. It would be a great title, though. You're all right.
That was amazing.
David Tennant plays Eddington. Andy Serkis plays Einstein. It's a fun little movie, but like there's a whole sequence in it where it's like they do the kind of torture genius thing where with Einstein where he's like trying to have a good evening with his wife and he's like getting along and then like suddenly he kind of realizes something and then like he just completely shifts and like he goes like he's like like he starts ignoring his wife again because Einstein famously wasn't the best to his wife. Mm-hmm. And it's like that's like a very basic way to do it, but it's still like a more kind of like it wasn't like he was trying to be an asshole, He was just he like didn't know how to balance these things. And like Imitation Game doesn't really have anything to say about like his weird attitude, Mm-hmm. Like there's also a lot of debate about whether or not like the real Alan Turing did have like Asperger's syndrome, like cuz that wasn't something that got diagnosed as much back then.
Yeah.
But it feels like another weird way to be like all gay people are weird computer people. And so if I don't get along with them, that's actually okay.
I shouldn't have laughed at that. I'm sorry.
Hey, no. I'm saying it's like, I feel like it gives people an excuse to be like, oh, the reason I don't have any gay friends is because they're all weirdos. And yeah, if I probably got to know them, I would get along with them. But like, I don't have time for that. So it's okay that I don't actually know gay people. And that's why I'm going to vote for Trump in 2 years.
No!
But, it's like, it's a very unthreatening gay narrative. And then you can be like, oh, how badly the British treated this gay man. And it's like, hey, let's look at American history. Let's not do that. Like,
yeah.
He got a royal pardon in like 2013 or something.
Yeah, a year before this movie came out.
Yeah.
I wonder if that had anything to do with the production of this film.
That's kind of like the Pope like giving Galileo a pass in like 92. Mm-hmm. Admitting Galileo was right about the Earth going around the sun in 1992.
I mean, it's so fucking true. Like, because when you're like a kid, like in middle school, like 4th grade, 5th grade, whatever, even younger maybe. I just remember, like kind of revering the military, like, wow, heroes, right? These are the people that are fighting for our freedom. Because you hear that and you don't. I don't think about like any consequences of that, what that means for the people abroad or anything like that, right? And then I just remember talking to my mom about that. I think it was my mom or like another relative. And I was like, oh, like the people that die, they still, they're awarded like medals of honor and their family get awarded that, right? Mm-hmm. And then I just remember them being like, yeah, but I bet they'd prefer having their family members around. And then from that point on, the rest of my life, I was like, oh yeah, like no shit, like that doesn't. These awards and these passes don't mean anything if the person's like dead. And, you just, at a certain point, this is all bullshit.
Yeah. Well, do you remember...
all these logistics are bullshit. It's just offensive.
Do you remember, like, after 9/11, there was just, like, people were like, why is Al-Qaeda attacking us? And, like, the common thing that, like, educated people would say was, like, they hate our freedom. Do you remember that was, like, a talking point?
Yeah.
And it's like, that doesn't mean anything. Like... Also, you would be shocked... the amount of people I have talked to in the past year who are shocked at the number of democracies that actually exist in the world right now. People like, I was like, what? Someone was going to me, what kind of government does Australia have? And I was like, they're a democracy. And they're like, yeah, but like different from our democracy, right? Like they don't have as many freedoms. And I'm like, no, they have a similar democracy to ours. Like, yeah, they have a weird like nanny state thing, but it's not like that different. Yeah. Also, I explained to an adult person recently that Russia wasn't actually communist anymore. Hasn't been communist in about 30 years. People don't know these things, apparently.
And also, the prime minister of, I believe, Finland is a cat girl.
Well, what the fuck? I did not know that.
Yeah.
What's that?
At least one of those weird European countries. I don't know.
What happened there?
I don't know. She just she got in trouble for partying
Oh.
and breaking a COVID thing.
Well, yeah, there was that.
That too.
Was there?
But I thought that was like funny. It's like all these fucking. I mean, that's not good, you know, breaking your COVID quarantine rules. But then it's also like all these other countries, like, oh yeah, we have like all these fucking problems with like white nationalists and stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, our prime minister's a cat girl.
Well,
It's just like very funny.
all right.
Worlds apart.
Yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from. I was thrown. I was like, what did the girl get caught like as in a picture or something like?
No, she edited herself into like cat girls and posted them on like their
Okay,
country's Reddit.
that's all you had to fucking say.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, yeah.
I was like, where'd the cat girl thing come from?
I just thought that was like so funny. It's like we have all these political scandals. It's like, yeah, no, like America's basically not legally a democracy anymore.
Yeah.
And then Finland's like, yeah, you got a cat girl.
You ever hear someone talking about like some problem in another nation, and then they're like, man, must suck to be those guys, and then you're like, the same thing happened here like yesterday. Like,
Yeah, no, that's why I don't feel that way anymore. I'm just like, no, it's fuck. I mean, honestly, that's why like when politicians are gonna lead up for like their presidency runs or whatever, and they're like, we need to establish certain things across the world with our other friendly or enemy nations, right? I'm like, I don't give a like. What are you doing domestically? Just fucking.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna believe them 100% on that. But I want to hear more about that.
yeah, but they're gonna talk about China. It's gonna be about China.
Oh yeah, of
This
course.
country's such
China,
a
the
fucking
enemy.
stupid warmongering country that we got to be afraid of China, a country we'll never go to war with because it would be the destruction of the world. Like, ugh.
Yeah, but they're foreign.
They're foreign, and they don't. You hear about how they're putting these people in camps. It's not like we do the exact same thing here. Yeah, they don't
What about
really.
those kids in cages?
Yeah, it's like.
We never figured that out, did we?
Yeah, we never did. People just gave up. I'm glad everyone's having a happy time listening to this fucking episode about the goddamn Imitation Game.
Yeah, sorry.
It's a bad movie.
Sorry.
I didn't hate it, but it's a bad movie. I'll never watch it again for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I can say that comic whenever I die, either next year or 30 years from now. I will have never watched this again.
Yeah. Great cast, and shout out to composer Alexandre Desplat, who is one of the greatest living composers who, for the life of him, cannot get another blockbuster composition made because people are just unhappy with his work, I guess. I don't know.
It feels like he was kind of being slotted in to be the guy to take over for John Williams at a certain point.
Yeah, he got booted from Rogue One. As much as I still like Rogue One, that score is not a high point. It's not terrible, but it's not up to par in my opinion. And he just Alexandre Desplat hasn't been able to do another big movie since Godzilla, the 2014 movie, which is a great score, but like what the fuck, dude? What is the problem? Is he too you know, some of those artists are a little hard to work with. Like, is that the case? I don't know.
Yeah, but in an age where Hollywood studios just don't really give a fuck about the composer, hard to work with could be like, hey, I need like an extra week to work on this.
That's totally fucking true. Right. Yeah, I'm not trying to like downplay him at all. Just it's unfortunate. He did the score for Shape of Water.
Yeah, a good score.
Fucking someone fucking hire him to do another Star Wars. Like, come on, dude.
Who?
He said he loves Star Wars.
Who is the guy that they're getting to do another Star Wars?
We still don't know.
But like there've been a few Star Wars movies.
Well, it's John Williams did the sequel trilogy. Those are his last ones. He said. Which honestly, just he's gonna be 100 by the time they make the next one at this point. So, I get it. I don't know who John Newton Howard I think did the solo score. The solo score is like fun. It's fine.
It says here John Powell did it.
John Powell, okay.
And he basically and it also credits John Williams because he basically just did music that John Williams wrote.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a fine score. It's a fine score. It's not a bad one.
You know who I think you need to get?
Oh, wait, you know what? Really quick. Ludwig Göransson is doing the TV shows, and his whatever the problems with those shows, his scores are like amazing.
Good for him. Here's what I would say: throw the audience a curveball. Fucking bring John Carpenter out of retirement. It's now weird electro synth scores.
Hey, you know what? The score for Starman could totally work in Star Wars.
Maybe it could, yeah. Did he do Starman?
He did Starman,
Okay.
yeah.
'Cause-
The do 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 do. You know
Starman's just the one I haven't seen. Oh, nope, he did not, you fucking idiot.
what? Who the fuck did Starman?
Jack someone.
Oh, he did the theme. He did the main
Okay.
theme that everyone fucking knows and loves from The Incredible Starman.
It's the guy who did the Exorcist score. Right-hand man to
Alright,
Phil Spector.
All right, whatever. Get John Carpenter for Star Wars. I was gonna say Daft Punk, but they're gone now.
Oh, yeah, Daft Punk's done. What's
Oh,
that
that
about?
fucking
How hard
sucks.
is it to keep two robot guys together?
If C-3PO and R2 can do it,
Yeah. Remember when Daft Punk is just in Tron Legacy?
yeah.
That's an interesting
What a
choice.
great film. That's a great movie.
Not really, but
No, it is.
Phil
The
Blockbuster's
Imitation
coming
Game.
at you.
No. Oh, you know
We
what?
can do
Yeah,
both
good.
Trons.
We could. Also, check out the 10-year anniversary special I did with my buddies from the Trammin podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So it's we had a great time talking about one of our favorite movies. Not Matt, though. Do we want to talk about what we're doing next?
Oh, hey, the guy who did Tron Legacy is doing Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
There's a good reason not to see that movie.
No, it'll be fine.
Top Gun's not even like a good movie.
No, I know, but like that's why it's like, oh yeah, if you're gonna make a sequel to that, you could totally make a better movie than the first one.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Sorry.
With
It's just like, yeah, I agree.
well, someone like Aaron Kruger writing the screenplay, I'm sure it'll be great.
Scream 3, baby.
There are currently 5 credited writers for a Top Gun sequel.
Huh.
How about that?
Well, you know, Chris McQuarrie is
Strange guy.
is a good writer, good director.
Get a vibe from Macquarie.
Oh, okay.
Get a bit of a vibe.
All right, should we talk about what we're doing next?
Trying to think if I have anything else to say about the Imitation Game. Oh, there's a scene in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy after he has stolen the logbooks, and he meets with Smiley, and Smiley's like, "Look, they're gonna know that you're up to something now. Like that we know now that they have their eye on you. So if you have any baggage in your life, if you have anything that they could use against you, you have to get rid of it." And we learn in that moment that Benedict Cumberbatch's character in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is gay, is in a gay relationship, and he goes home and has to break up with them. And it's literally like 2 shots, and it's much more powerful than anything that happens in the Imitation Game.
To be fair, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, any individual sequence of that movie is going to be better directed than most.
No,
movies
I
you've ever
agree.
seen.
I'm not going to, but I am saying that if your full movie should be as good as one sequence in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I
Yeah.
think that's a pretty low bar. And it's like if I remember correctly, it's literally like 2 shots. Like that's it. And I get it. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, one of the most economically told stories of all movies of all time. Like every frame in that movie is saying like 10 things at once.
Yeah. Well, that was the Imitation Game. You know what? Let me check the ratings on Letterboxd now. Yeah, lots of 3 stars. No stars. 1.5 stars. Yeah, that's about right.
Abby gave it 3.5,
Oh,
and she hates everything.
oh, Abby. But was that recent
That's what-
viewing?
Let me check.
We
It's a 5-year ago rating, so
Okay, so it probably doesn't count because like so many people's like tastes have changed. You know,
I change
my
like every
tastes have
6
definitely
months. So
changed. Yeah, like this probably would have been like a 3-star thing
you know,
for
I
me back
saw
in the day.
it in theaters, I remember going like, that was all right. Haven't thought about it a fucking moment since.
Until I brought it up again.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the only reason I brought it up as the first choice was because it's like the perfect generic movie that wasn't gonna be like morbidly offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie's not offensive at all. That's a point Diego is making right now.
No. I mean, look, it was
I want to make it clear,
Book.
Diego is making that very strong point that he believes deeply.
No, wait, you didn't let me finish my joke. I was like, it's either this or Green Book, and then you had to remind me that Green Book won Best Picture.
Oh, yes, I did. Hey, we talked about how Charles Dance was also in Mank.
Oh, yeah, Mank. Oh, we should have fucking started with Mank. I'm so upset at myself right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to talk about Mank.
Why? What's the matter with David Fincher?
Hey, well, what are you going to do?
Mank.
Bill Nye is in Mank as Upton Sinclair. Bill Nye, the fucking science guy. Not the other Bill Nye from England. The American Bill Nye.
No, God, there's two. We got to get them in the same movie together.
Yeah, that's something people have just been clamoring for.
That's what I'm clamoring for.
But I want to say that Charles Dance is like the best part of Mank.
Oh, yeah, no, he's fucking great.
That scene at the end.
There's a lot of great stuff in Mank.
Where Gary Oldman is just allowed to fucking go fucking crazy all over creation with his performance. And they're dressed like circus people and he's behaving like a dancing monkey. Did you get that in that scene?
Have you heard the parable of the organ grinder's monkey?
But Charles Dance just like coldly staring at him is like my favorite part of that fucking movie.
Oh, no, it's great. Him, Lily Collins, and Amanda Seyfried are fantastic in that.
Also, Gary...
genuinely fantastic.
Gary Oldman, another movie we could have done that is very similar, but definitely a better looking movie, is fucking Darkest Hour. The Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill movie.
We could have double featured
him. We could have. Talk about one of the funniest fucking performances that anyone took seriously.
Oh, yeah, no, he's very funny in
He is just hamming it up and, like, is acting like he's like, no one's gonna see this fucking movie. And then not only did people see it, it got nominated for a bunch of awards, including Best Actor, which he won.
My dark-seated truth is that I like Joe Wright, and I love his collaborations with that cinematographer, Bruno Del Bonell, who was nominated for Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour is not, like, good, but I really like the look of it.
No, you know what?
I wish it was to better material.
I like Joe Wright as well, more than I would like to admit. That being said, he's made movies that I fucking hate, but...
He's made some bad films, unfortunately. That's why I'm really looking forward to, what's the one he just did?
Cyrano? Yeah, Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah, I really hope that's a comeback for him.
I want to see just because, like, fucking someone give Peter Dinklage a good fucking movie, for God's sakes. Like,
I know.
I mean, it's like, he's a good actor. Mm-hmm. But, like, Joe Wright, he did, like, Pride and Prejudice and Anna Karenina. Like, those were good. Like,
yeah, I'm the one defender of Woman in the Window, although he kind of got that one reshot a little bit too.
You know what? I tried reading the book Woman in the Window and hated it, so I didn't even bother.
Okay. I mean, it's like Gone Girl. It's just trash. Mm-hmm. And Joe Wright doesn't David Fincher it. He's trying to make it his Gone Girl.
Yeah.
He's trying to have tons of fun with like Rear Window shit.
It's weird that like Gone Girl type lit like got popular like really quickly for like a brief minute. Like.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, Gone Girl's, like, a fun movie.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The people behind me clearly did not know what fucking movie they paid for.
Oh, yeah.
And were very upset at some of the horrific violence in that movie.
See, I could have done Woman in the Window for failed Oscar contenders.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't nominated for anything, was it?
No, but it also got shuffled off to Netflix.
You know what we could just do? We could literally just do an episode called Amy Adams. And we're just talking about all her movies that, like, did not get nominated, or, like...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That would hurt, because she's so fucking good.
Yeah, and, like, hasn't done anything really that good in a while, unfortunately.
What the fuck is wrong with people? That's what I want to know.
Remember Hillbilly Elegy?
See, this is the fucking problem with this country.
But,
I don't have anything. I just felt like saying that.
The reason Trump won is because there's just huge chunks of this country that we're just leaving behind, Diego, and they're just really frustrated. Like, you know, it didn't come from anywhere deeper than that. Like, we can all understand that feeling. You know, so maybe we got to reach out and talk to people a little more. Maybe through talking, we will understand MAGA heads.
I believe that was part of the acceptance speech for Green Book. The director came out on stage and said, you know, because we really all need to listen and talk to each other.
Yeah.
That's what this country needs.
Because, you know, because the fucking Trump supporters, they had no platform. Like, no one even knew they existed until Trump won. And, like, yeah, they might have been misguided, but, like, when are we ever going to hear opinions from white people who are just racist?
Yeah, Fox News, #1 with racists, but probably not too racist themselves. Which is not true. They are very racist.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that was Imitation Game. Sorry that was such a downer.
That was pretty much it was, we had to talk about a movie that sucks, so I ended up just going to where my brain goes, which is not great places.
Yeah, turtles all the way down and shit. Sorry, everyone. The next one will be more fun if we continue on this trajectory, because it'll be a bad movie that is fun to talk about. Can I say it, or do you want me to hold on to it?
I might as well preview the next one.
I joked about Book of Henry. We're going to do Book of Henry
Yeah, we're doing
next.
Book of Henry next, because when the fuck else are we going to talk about it? And the excuse, we should say we're being very flimsy with the failed awards contender thing.
No, yeah.
Basically, the excuse is that Book of Henry has an original song in it for some inexplicable reason by Stevie Nicks, which is 100% there, hoping to get a Best Original Song nomination, when Book of Henry was going to sweep the Oscars in the year of its release, which some fucking foolhardy person believed.
And with the failed blockbusters, you know, those maybe failed at the box office or critically, but they tended not to be failures in our hearts. These sometimes will be failures in our hearts.
Some of these are going to be big failures.
Oh, yeah. And then some of them will be the opposite of failures, and some of the best movies we'll ever talk about. But we'll get there when we get there. Matt, where can the people find you until we're back?
I'm at EmperorOTN1 at Twitter.com. And hey, I did not realize Book of Henry was produced by Jeanette Kahn, who used to work at DC Comics.
Wow. So it's basically, you're right, it was a Lex Luthor origin story.
Spoilers on my opinions on Book of Henry. In case you were thinking I was going to come up with some hot takes about how Book of Henry is secretly genius.
I'm going to have to do some reading on Jordan Peterson, unfortunately, for the next episode.
Yeah, you don't need to.
We liked it. That's the only
Jordan Peterson, all you need to know about Jordan Peterson is that he's a guy who sucks.
He sucks, and he liked the Book of Henry.
And he sucks in all the predictable
more.
ways you think a guy would suck, including liking the Book of Henry.
And you could follow me, where I won't be tweeting about Jordan Peterson ever, I promise. At the Diego Crespo, check out the Waffle
Is
Press
this
on
the
Twitter,
first
YouTube,
episode
SoundCloud.
we've ever done that was under an hour?
Maybe. No, you know what? One of the Hannibal episodes, I had to edit down to under an hour.
Oh, really? Why was that?
Because of you.
What did I talk about? I don't even remember.
I don't even remember.
This one, it's not even 50 minutes right now, and I'm assuming after maybe a couple little edits, it will not crack 50 minutes.
Yeah, probably not. We could draw it out.
So who was the woman in the window?
It's Julianne Moore.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Julianne Moore is in Woman in the Window.
Fine. We could also do an entire segment on the show called Naomi Watts.
Oh.
Because, goddamn, someone give her a fucking good movie.
I know, what the fuck? It's David Lynch and, like, no one else. What is the fucking problem?
It's like David Lynch, and then she was in King Kong, and she's great in it. And then it's like, that's it.
I don't know. Go watch Woman in the Window, everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, why not?
Find
Why not?
The Waffle Press on Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify,
Jacob
iTunes, and Patreon.
Tremblay.
Where you can get early access
Dean
to...
Norris.
episodes like this one,
Lee
this one will be out a
Pace.
week early. We're taking a week off so I can upload this early for the
Sarah
patrons. You're welcome,
Silverman.
patron.
Bobby Moynihan.
Are you just repeating the Wikipedia?
Yes.
There you go, 50 minutes.
Maddie Ziegler.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We have been professionally unprofessional.
Oh, wait, how do I stop this?
Better bloody work.
Alan, you do not have to do this alone.
What are you doing? What's going on?
The Navy thinks that one of us is a Soviet spy.
You've got more secrets than the best of them.
What if I don't fancy her in that way?
Can't tell anyone, Alan. It's illegal.
I'm just a mathematician.
Sometimes it is the people who no one imagines anything of who do the